जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna and welcome back. Thank you for joining. Today we are discussing verse number 18 of chapter number 2 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And in the previous verse, Krishna is talking about that how the soul which pervades the entire body, you should know that it is indestructible and no one is able to destroy that imperishable soul. And in this verse, Krishna continue to further describe about the characteristics of the soul. So let's read the verse number 18. Chapter 2, verse number 18. Antavanta ime deha nitya shokta saririnaha anasino aprameyasya yasya tasmadyudyasya bharata. So Krishna is telling Arjuna that, O Bharata, so in the last line we see Krishna is calling Bharata. So his Bharata is addressed to Arjuna. So who is Bharata? So anyone who is coming in the lineage of Maharaj Bharat, who was a great king. So that person is known as Bharata. And earlier sections we saw that actually Dhritarashtra has been called by Sanjaya as Bharata. So when someone is born in such a great lineage, is expected to act with great responsibility. So Krishna is saying that he is continuing to describe the further characteristics of the soul and the body. So in the first line Krishna is saying Antavanta ime deha. Antavanta ime deha means Antavanta means perishable. So for the deha there is a beginning and there is an end. So soul is going to remain eternal, but the deha is going to come to an end. Or other words, the body will get destroyed. Whereas for saririnaha, so that is line number 2, which is line B, Krishna is using, for saririna he is using nityo shokta. So nityaha plus nityasya and uktaha. So he is saying that the saririnaha, so sarira is body and saririna means the owner of the body, that means the soul. So the characteristic of the soul is it is nitya. Nitya means eternal or imperishable. So the first two lines says that the body is perishable or it is going to end, and the soul is nitya means it is eternal. Then Krishna says that the soul is aprameyasya. What is aprameyasya means? Aprameyasya is immeasurable. So here you don't see the word a in front of prameyasya. So when there is some character in front of any other character, means there is a addition of word or a letter a in front of it. So here you see aprameyasya. So aprameyasya means it means that it is immeasurable. So soul is indestructible, our soul can never be destroyed, and soul is immeasurable. These are the two characteristics of soul defined in this particular verse. So also we have studied about the immeasurable property of the soul, which is described in the previous purport. In the previous purport it is described that Keshagra satadagasya satada kalpitasya cha. What it means is, if we take a tip of the hair and we cut it into 100 pieces, and then from those 100 pieces we take one piece and then again cut it into 100 more pieces, and then we take one part of those 100 pieces, so that is 1/10,000 part of the tip of the hair. If we take that is the size of the soul. So we take a tip of the hair and cut it into 10,000 part. So one part of that tip of the hair, 1/10,000 part of the tip of the hair is the dimension or the size of the soul. So in other words, aprameyasya, immeasurable, means it is so small that it cannot be measured by any material instruments. Also, it is not subject to any material measurement because the soul is not material. There are dimensions to the soul, but those are all spiritual dimensions. So how is immeasurable related to indestructibility? So it is so small, Krishna is saying, that none of your weapons can hit the soul because it's so small. So that's why if it is immeasurable, then you cannot actually destroy it. But for the body, it is bound to be destroyed. So Arjuna, you will not be able to save the body even if you don't fight. And you will not be able to destroy the soul even if you fight. So don't be worried about that. And we'll be able to save the body. You don't get worried about that. And therefore Krishna is saying in the last line, Tasmad yudhyasya bharata, means therefore you fight. Therefore you get up and fight. So here we see that Krishna is giving a call for a fight. Tasmat yudhyasya bharata. Call for an action. So in the scriptural, when we read any scriptures, we see there are some part of the scriptures are information, and there is no direct instruction. So this information is generally for educational purpose or for the knowledge. Like for example, one of the educational purpose information is Dehino asmin yatha dehe, right? So that is just for the purpose of information. But here Krishna is saying Tasmat yudhyasya bharata, means here there is a call for an action, means you do some action. Or Krishna may say that Tam titishasva bharata, means it's a direct instruction. Like in 2.8, it is a direct instruction. So this kind of statements are very important for the sadhakas or for our practical purpose, that what needs to be done. An example can be given that we may go to a doctor for some diseases which may be having. So we go to doctor, then the doctor gives a lot of information about the disease. But then at the end, the doctor says the most important thing is to the patient has to do certain things. So that is direct instruction. So earlier the doctor gives the instruction, which is also good for our knowledge purpose. But the most important part of this is the patient, what the patient needs to be done or has to do. That is the most important part for the patient. So similarly over here, Krishna is giving a direct call for action, means do this. So that is Tasmad yudhyasya bharata, go and fight. After understanding that the soul cannot be killed and the body cannot be saved, so go and fight. So let's see what Srila Prabhupada has to talk about this in the purport. So first thing Prabhupada talks is the material body is perishable. So the material body is perishable by nature. It may perish immediately or it may do so after 100 years. It's a question of time only. There is no chance of maintaining it indefinitely. So all of us are born with a death sentence on our forehead. We don't know what exact date it would be, but as soon as we are born, that date is fixed, that when we are going to die. For example, all the products that come up with the expiry date. So similarly, the body also comes up with the expiry date. In this case, we don't know, but in the case of product, we know that. So in this case, we don't know when that expiry date is. But as we see in this picture, that the soul enters into the body and the body keeps on growing, and then there will be a time when the soul will leave this body and take another body. So this keeps on going. So that's what Prabhupada is saying, that material body is perishable. You cannot save it. Spirit soul is minute and nothing can kill. So, but the spirit soul is so minute that it cannot be even seen by an enemy, to say nothing of being killed. As mentioned in the previous verse, it is so small that no one can have an idea how to measure its dimension. So there is no material instrument made so far to even see it or understand it. So we can only understand about soul through the scriptures. So conclusion, Prabhupada is saying that there is no cause of lamentation. So from both the viewpoint, there is no cause of lamentation, because the living entity, as he cannot be killed, nor the material body be saved for any length of time or permanently protected. So in case of Arjuna, Bhishma or Drona, they are going to die, maybe natural death if Arjuna doesn't kill, or some other kind of death they may face, but they have to die. So Arjuna cannot save them. So then Prabhupada says that the original position of the soul is that the minute particle or the soul of the whole spirit acquires this material body according to his work. So based on our karma, we get our body. And therefore, observance of religious principles should be utilized. So when we particularly get a human form of life, then we must observe the religious principles, and that is for our benefit. So when we observe these religious principles, when we follow Shastra, when we perform our dharma, then we rise gradually spiritually. And then the example given from the Vedanta Sutra, the analogy is given that the Vedanta Sutra, in the Vedanta Sutra, the living entity is qualified as light. So originally the spirit soul is pure, and the spirit soul by nature is always Sachidananda, so it's pure, because he is part and parcel of the Supreme Light. So because being a part and parcel of the Lord, the Supreme Lord, Supreme Lord is Sachidananda, so we are also Sachidananda. As sunlight maintains the entire universe, so the light of the soul maintains the entire and maintains this material body. And this is explained in the previous verse 2.17, that the soul pervades the entire body through consciousness, just as the sunlight maintains the entire universe through its the sun maintains the entire universe through its sunlight. So similarly, the soul maintains the material body through its consciousness. What happens when the soul leaves the body? As soon as the spirit soul is out of the material body, the body begins to decompose. And we see that, as soon as the body becomes dead, immediately the body starts decomposing. All the organs starts decomposing. Therefore, it is the spirit soul which maintains this body. So long the spirit soul is there in the body functions properly. But as soon as it leaves, the body starts degenerating. The body itself is unimportant. That's why the important part of the body is actually the soul, which is the driver of the body. Without the driver, it is a dead body. What Arjuna needs to do based on this knowledge? So Arjuna was advised to fight. So this is why Krishna is saying tasmat. So here Krishna is using the word therefore. After knowing this, what you should do? Yudhyasya Bharata, means you should perform your duty. He is telling to perform his duty. So that is what Prabhupada is saying in this particular line. Arjuna was advised to fight and not sacrifice the cause of religion for material bodily considerations. So he should not, definitely he will feel bad, he will miss the association, and how can he exchange his love and service for Bhishma and Drona, because they will not be present. But then Arjuna will have to tolerate that. That has been explained in the 14th verse of chapter 2, that he will have to tolerate when they leave this world. But it's better to perform one's religious duty. Especially Arjuna is in the position of a Kshatriya. So Kshatriya's duty is to protect dharma. So that's why Prabhupada is saying over here that not sacrifice the cause of dharma for material bodily considerations. So this is what is described in this particular verse. And Krishna is going to continue describing the further characteristics of the soul in future verses. So with this we'll stop here and we'll continue in the future sessions. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Gaur Premanande Haribol.